Alright, so this is going to be the second part to the bonus material, the extras I wanted to put in. And I was standing on his concrete. I could feel the concrete. I could see his house. It must have been about 11 o'clock at night, I'm guessing, because I used to go to sleep very early. And I stood there and looked at his house. All the lights in his house were out. They were all out, so they were obviously in bed. And I thought, I kind of was a bit confused, to be honest. I was awake. I was thoroughly awake. So what I did was I knelt down and I picked up some dirt in my hand, and I could feel it. And I put it down. And when I put it down, I used to have these bracelet things. Because I was into surfing, so I had these bracelet things. So when I flicked the dirt back down, they rattled like that. And I grabbed them and I looked up. And I thought, oh my God, if he finds me here at night time standing on this concrete, he's going to think I'm chasing his daughter, because he had a teenage daughter. And she's young, too young for me. She's like 13, 14 or something like that, way too young. And I didn't know what to think, so I grabbed onto the bracelets. I was like, oh shit. And I was kind of like, thought, what the hell am I doing? And it wasn't until I remembered that I'd gone to bed. And I said to myself, in my thought, I said, I should be asleep. I'm supposed to be in bed. As soon as I had that realization of saying that, I started to, I was where I was in that place still, but I could start to see my bedroom come alive, and I could start to see my bedroom. So I sat there and stared. So I was in two places at once. Sound weird? Yeah, well, that's what your spirit can do. Yeah. And I sat there and stared until I saw the light. And when I saw the light, I just ran towards the light in my room. Light switch. Not the light switch, to turn it on. And when I ran in and I flicked the light on, I was back in my room. I got back there straight away like that. And I was dumbstruck. Thank God my friend never saw me. But now thinking about it, I wish I'd gone and knocked on his door. Or I wish I'd gone and done a few tests to see what type. But to me, I felt physical. I even looked down at my clothes and I saw that I had the same clothes on, from the grey top, and the long shorts down to the knees. And I found it very weird, but I was there and I was in solid form. So it was really funny when I started to see the two places at once, and I ran for my door. And I could think, oh, I was probably dreaming. I wasn't dreaming. Oh, I was there. I was outside his house. Man, 100%. You know, I made the decision to pick up the dirt, thinking in my hands, the rattling of my things, surf bangle things, you know. No, I was there. I was awake, 100%. And then I was like split in two places. I could see both places. And then I saw my room was just coming into focus. And then it came light enough to see my light switch. And I just went for it. It was weird. It was a weird night. And that is a true story. That really happened. And, yeah. Yeah, so, there's been some crazy stuff go on in my life, I got to admit, man. I've seen, heard, felt some really crazy stuff. And I've always, especially as I got older, I really felt that I have one foot here and I have another foot somewhere else. And I felt that for such a long time. And when I had my experience, when I went into this place where my spirit was intact, it confirmed that, yeah. And then it didn't surprise me that I was able to get photos, that I can get photos from windows and mirrors and that kind of thing. It doesn't surprise me that at all. So if I've got my foot on one side and my foot on the other side, of course it's going to be available to me, but I don't know how to control it. I'm getting some help at the moment to control it, and it's going to bring a lot of healing to me, which I really need. And it's just that I want to be tuned up for my kids, you know. Just want to get a bit tuned up with them. But it's very, very frustrating. And I did something one time which I probably shouldn't have done, but it was what I felt. I experienced this 100%. This friend that was at this place with me, that I sat outside of the show, she was babysitting, and she was house sitting, and she was looking after their dog. And she said, "Oh, you can come over if you want." So I came over, and she was showing me around. We went down like in a kind of a basement thing. They had like a car there, and kind of down thing, yeah. And I could feel all this energy from all these objects that were in this thing. They're all on this they're all on a big square thing with lines, you know, with wood across it. I can't remember what they're called. But they were all, and they have stuff on them. Oh God, I can't believe how stupid I am. And they had all this stuff, and I could feel the residue of deceased people. Yeah, it belonged to deceased people. This gear belonged to deceased people. It was very strong. And I said that to my friend. I said, you know, she's hardcore Christian. Not hardcore, but I mean, she's Christian as in like very, very devout. Yeah, she's not over the top. And I said, I got a feeling. I said to her, I think this stuff here belongs to their family that has passed away, because I can feel it. I can feel that energy coming off it. I can feel that residue of, and it's telling me that this belonged to a deceased people, whether it's persons or people. And she went, "Oh, okay. This is inside a Christian guy's house," and then we went upstairs, and we were up there talking away, and I was playing with the dog, and we were at the top of the stairs, and then I felt an old woman, coming up the stairs, and I looked at the dog, who was a bit further ahead of me towards the stair thing, so we could both see down the stairs, but he was close to them, and he was just staring. He was just staring at something. I couldn't see this woman. Obviously the puppy could. The little dog. On the puppy, but it was a little dog. And she, I don't know whether the woman, I don't know whether they impress it on your mind or whether, but I knew that she was a family member who was just coming up and seeing what we're up to, coming to check the house. And I told my friend this, and she went, "Really?" I said, yeah. But it was very interesting. But the dog wasn't stressed. It didn't bark. It didn't shake. It didn't do anything. Just sat and stared. So obviously this person is known to the dog. I'm actually surprised the dog didn't start wiggling his tail. So maybe they weren't that close. You know, maybe she wasn't really a dog person. I'm not sure. I don't know. But it was a woman, and it wasn't a big tall woman. It was a woman who was a little bit bent over actually, and she was just coming to check. And I'd done this stupid thing when I was in church, and I told this guy it was his house, and I told him what I experienced, and I said that there was a woman that came up the stairs that comes and checks in on your family and looks after your house and after you. He got very offended, very offended. And he said, "We don't believe in that. We don't believe in that stuff." I said, "Well, hey, I'm just telling you what I feel." He said, "No, we don't believe that at all. But no, that doesn't happen." And he said to me, oh, you know what we can do? Would you like to do a survey thing so we can just kind of like, you do some forms and stuff like that, and we'll just see where you're coming from, because we just want to, check out your uniqueness. And I just said to him, no thanks. I said, I want to stay unique, you know. So that was my way of just throwing it back at him and saying, pardon, I'm not going to say it, stick it up your butt. If I'd lost someone and someone had said that to me, I'd be quite happy that there was someone looking after me. But because they're so brainwashed and indoctrinated, he couldn't accept it. So with his limitations, he wouldn't have a clue. So someone else had to feel his family member coming into the house or coming up those stairs, because he can't and he never will, because he's shut off. Yeah, so anyway, but other than that, he's a nice guy, but that really pissed me off. It just kind of just showed me, don't bother talking to them about stuff like that, because they don't know shit. They don't know nothing. It was just very sad, but hey, that was how that went. But I didn't mean any harm. I just wanted him to know that. And then the second time I visited her, all the stuff was gone. All the stuff was gone, where the residue was and all that, of the dead people stuff. That was all cleared away, but it was very dark. There was, like, in that little place where it was, into the little, it was like a little kind of little area, and there was a room on the other side. It was very dark in there, so there was some very dark residue sitting in there, and it may have been just linked with the what's left from what there was. But I didn't see that darkness the first time I went. Yeah, I always find that if I feel something, I won't see it. If I see something, I won't feel it, and things like that. If I hear something, I won't feel it, and if I feel something, I won't see it or hear it or anything. I never get everything at once. It's either one thing or the other. It's something, yeah. But yeah, no, I'm not afraid to tell people. I remember I parked outside. My friend, I was with him, and he went to his house, and I sat in his car and waited for him. I'd never been there before, and I looked at his house, and there were two windows, and I could just see them in darkness. There was darkness in behind those curtains, and when he hopped back in the car, I said, "Dude, who sleeps in those two rooms there?" And he goes, the kids. No one's in that room, but the kids are in this one. I said, "Do your children sleep very well?" And he said, I don't know if it was the boy or the girl, but he said one of them doesn't sleep very well at all. And then I found out that his uncle had gone over there and had been spooked as well. And so yeah, I don't even need to go into a building, and I can feel if there's an entity in there, a spirit, which is weird. Like when I first moved in here, I got to the door of the big house here, and I could feel either there was residue from past spirits, or there was active spirits at that time, and there was some heavy something which we sorted out, got rid of, and they've had a few blessings around here. But there is a being that walks around here. He's a man. But I've got to shut this off. This is the very end of everything. Goodbye.